Hello there, my very good friends. Andy here for WhatCulture Wrestling. WWE Crown Jewel is this weekend, Saturday, Australian time zone. Tremendous, particularly if you're in the UK. 1 p.m. Let's go. I could get used to watching wrestling shows at that time of day. We're doing things a little bit differently now. No straight up predictions video this week. We're going to do things that should happen on the show. Fantasy booking, best case scenarios, my opinion on the choices the company needs to make to get the most out of this show. I'm gonna go with a few spicy ones here, a few things that you're gonna disagree with, so stick around and let's argue, baby. And we're gonna kick things off with one of the biggest matches on the show. Number 5, Bronson Reed beats Roman Reigns. Now look, I'm not dumb, right? I mean, I might be a little bit, but I know this isn't gonna happen. WWE's gonna put Roman Reigns over, and if Bronson does go over, it'll be a heavily shenanigans thing, maybe even a count out, a disqualification, whatever. But in my view, if they want to maximize, if they want to get the most out of this feud and this potential pairing, they should have the balls to put Bronson Reed over Roman Reigns as cleanly as possible. Maybe not entirely clean, they are heels after all. But they should do it. They should do it. Number 1, Roman has already beaten the Bronze like a drum. He beat Bronson, one-on-one. He has the tag match victory over him and Braun Breaker with Jey Uso as well. So what do we achieve with another victory for Roman here? I don't think very much at all. I think the best possible solution here is that you give Reed a career potentially making victory over one of the biggest stars in the company. It's not typically what happens a lot of the time, and sometimes, people are made in defeat. It is entirely possible. However, what could scream rocket pack more when it comes to Bronson Reed than having him beat Roman Reigns? I mean, winning a world title, obviously, but that's not probably going to happen in the near future at the very least. I think they should show some balls with this decision. I think they should be brave. I don't think that just because Roman Reigns is an almighty bigger name that he should win by default. Yes, he's the babyface in this story, so at the end, he should probably get another win over Bronson Reed. However, this is the perfect way to set that up. If you're not going to do the Seth Rollins match soon, and recent lines of reporting suggest they're not, there's no need to race to the end with this one. Let's just put a guy over, man. Let's put somebody on the rise over somebody who's been on top, and let's see what happens. I know they're probably not going to do that, but in my opinion, it's the best way to get the most out of this match. Number 4, give the women's tag team match time. As in 25 minutes, 30 minutes. That shouldn't be too much to ask for, right? I mean, we've got a 3.5 hour show with 5 matches on it. There's plenty of room to extend these run times around the myriad advertisements and other fluff that takes place between the matches. Look, from a pure nerd, work rate, technical, whatever standpoint, the kind of stuff that I'm into, this is the best match on the show. It's been well built. Most people have received this very well. The split of the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky, of course, who has found an ally this year in a former adversary, Rhea Ripley. 4 of the most talented wrestlers in the entire company, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And look, if this doesn't get the time that it deserves to sit on the stove, to marinate, to let those delicious flavors fully come out and come together as one in the dish during the Face in Peril segment, then what are we doing here? Io Sky selling for the Kabuki Warriors, leading up to an almighty Rhea Ripley hot tag. Sounds like a delicious lineup and a delicious layout for this match. I'll be personally awfully disappointed if we get to the show and this match only goes about 12 minutes. This has the potential to be one of the better WWE matches of the year. And in fact, it contains 2 participants from what I think is the best main roster match of the year, the WrestleMania Women's Triple Threat, in Rhea Ripley and Io Sky already. Look, it's a good story, it's a great pairing. Io's the best wrestler in the company this year, in my view, bell to bell, in ring mostly. And I don't see how you can shortchange it. Of course, maybe they'll cut 5 minutes off so they can show a vignette for someone who's been off TV for 3 months or something, I don't know. But I'd rather just let them cook. Let them fry, let them sizzle, whatever they want to do. Because look, we gotta find a better way to fill these shows than with all the adverts. So, big long match, please. Thank you. Bye. Number 3, Stephanie Vaquer wins. I think she should go over Tiffany Stratton in the first of the Crown Jewel matches here. This is, of course, belt versus belt, and if you win, you get a bigger belt. You don't get the other person's belt, you get this gigantic thing and a ring, and the belt's huge, and it looks like a comedy prop, but I think that kind of makes it better in a way, to borrow Simon Miller's phrase, goofy wrestling for life in this case. I think that going back to kind of the opening match, when I spoke about Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, which might not be the opener, who knows, this is a case of what works best, right? Who will get the most out of winning this match? And I think that the answer is Stephanie, because she's still relatively new to the main roster. I know she's been around for like the best part of a year at this point, but you know, fresh face, fresh champion. She won the belt very early in her run. She won the NXT belt very early in her run, and on merit. She's extremely over, and she's a tremendous wrestler. Not discrediting anything Tiffany has done here at all. I think she's done great work with opponents like Jade Cargill and Nia Jax in particular. I know we had the injury the other week, but it's wrestling. These things do happen, unfortunately. And while, yeah, there'd be no shame whatsoever in Tiffany going over here, I do think that Stephanie stands to gain the most from winning, because it's another statement victory for somebody who is just a little bit newer to the main roster and the audience in general. And when you're in that position, going over established names really helps you solidify your position on the card. Look, if Stephanie loses, we're not going to sit here and go, burial, blah, 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 Tiffany Hogan. Some people on the internet might, but we're not going to do that. And you're not going to do that in the comment section either, are you, my friends? Let me know who you think should win this one. Am I off the wall suggesting that it should be Stephanie Vaquer? But you know what's not off the wall? NordVPN, my very good friends. 76% off right now. 3 months for free. Sign up below. Doing you a favor. Number 2 is John Cena goes over. Okay, so we're at the point in this John Cena retirement run where we can see the end, we can see the finish line, right? It's coming up on the horizon. We know, as reported earlier this week, that Gunther is the name mentioned for that December farewell match in Washington, D.C. Reportedly, he's going to win a tournament. He's going to earn the right to face John Cena, and they're going to build that farewell match up as like an honor, right? If you want to face John Cena, you have to fight and claw and scrap and beat all these people to get that opportunity, as is their favorite word. So, in order for that match to mean the most, John Cena has to start looking a bit more credible, in my opinion. And look, losing to Brock Lesnar in kayfabe, no great disgrace. But in order for John Cena's match to really win something, it can't be Gunther versus a guy who has lost like 7 matches in a row, can it? That does not maximize the rub that Gunther would get from beating John Cena in the end. Yes, John Cena is a colossal name, 17-time world champion, but if you want Goliath being toppled to mean something, Goliath has to actually win a few of these damn things, and that's where I think AJ Styles comes into play. AJ is another guy who's got his eye on retirement. He's looking at stepping away sometime next year. He mentioned WrestleMania potentially as another show he'd like to do, so he's got a while left, and while he has a while left, have him just lose. Just have him put over John Cena. It's totally fine. He's not going to lose any steam. It's not like he's this pushed world title contender or a rising star or anything like that. He's a veteran who is still very comfortable in his position in the company, and he's a professional, and he's a guy who has tremendous chemistry with the man on screen right now. I've no doubt that they will at least try to live up to their previous matches in the late 2010s. Whether or not they can do that, who knows? We'll find out. But I really think the optimal result here is Cena winning, because if he's going into his retirement match on a losing streak, that's not great. We need to turn this thing around so that he can put Gunther over on the way out, and that can actually mean something. And at number 1, Seth Rollins beats Cody Rhodes. Going for a lot of underdog victories on this show, and the latest one is Rollins beating Cody Rhodes. They've fought many a time before. Cody usually wins this pairing, but in this scenario, I think the best use of everybody's time is for Rollins to take the W. This again is for one of them big old belts, them gigantic crown jewel things, and look, since the inception of the New World Heavyweight Championship, it is, it's not a B title, it's not that, but it's like A- compared to the undisputed thing that Cody holds. That belt is still, in the eyes of many, seen as a slight secondary thing to the other one. If you want to continue with the illusion of parity, if you want to try and present these things as being worth the same, the most powerful message you can possibly send is for the holder of that belt to win over the other guy. And in this scenario, I would be totally fine with an interference from Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, I guess, if he's going to be involved, Bronson Reed, whoever, whatever allies of Rollins you want to call in, I think that would be totally fine. If you want to pull the Randy Orton heel turn finally, you could also have him accidentally or on purpose screw Cody too. I think a screw job finish is totally fine in this situation, but I do think that Rollins should go over. He will gain more from it than Cody would, and it would put him in a great stead heading in to the end of the year with whatever WWE have planned for him next. It would also be good for Rollins to get a win in this rivalry, because Rollins is at his best when he's being annoying. And how more annoying can he be than gloating over a rival and going, na 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 na, I beat you. Perfect. It's good. It's good stuff. Let me know the things you think need to happen on this show, friends. Check out the video on your screen right now. All kinds of lore in here that you're going to enjoy. Enjoy the premium live event, pay-per-view, show, whatever it is. Sorry to all my friends on the West Coast who are probably waking up at like 5 a.m. for this thing. But hey, that's how we live for most of the year. So it's all good. See you later.